yeah. Fish on. Yeah. Oh, my God. Good night. Look at that tank. That's a toad, brother. Golly.
All righty, sir. Well, Happy New Year's. It's a brand new year, brand new way to roll out.
Man, Happy New Year to you, Randy, first and foremost. Happy New Year to the rest of you knuckleheads out there. Secondly, and for those of y'all that don't know, I started this knuckleheads thing on my YouTube channel, and it's not a derogatory thing. It's a term of endearment because at one point or another, we're all knuckleheads. So yeah, so that's yeah. Happy New Year, knuckleheads.
That's right. Happy New Year, knuckleheads. I love it. I love it. All right. So let's not waste a lot of time. We've got a lot of things going on, but I just wanted to remind everybody who is chiming in and watching for the first time. We've already got 31 anglers that are already watching the channel as it is. Go ahead and let us know exactly where you're at. Drop us a line, say hello, and then also where you're watching from. If you're watching from Hawaii or another country, definitely let us know that. But we definitely want to know all those that are local to the United States and out there. Again, let's get this show rolling because
and share, hit that share button.
I always forget to share.
Get the share on. Get your share on, guys. And you know what? We might pick a prize from just everybody that actually, no, I'm going to rephrase that. I am going to pick a prize winner for $100 Yak Attack prize pack from everybody that shares it. And just so you know, you can go to Facebook Business Suite and you can just look at all the shares and just pick one. We might not be able to do that fancy random generator thing that Randy does, but we can pick somebody.
We can get it. We can do it. We can figure out somebody.
I'll just scroll down to that person. We're also going to do another $100 Yak Attack prize pack giveaway this week. So y'all start hitting up the comment section when Randy tells you to, and we'll do another random generator drawing thingamajigger since you got that fancy tool.
I think tool. We need it. Are we going to do that Thursday on the show, or are we going to do that right now on the show?
We're going to do it right now as well. Also,
all right. Well, you got to give me a hashtag. We got to have a hashtag. What hashtag do you want? Hashtag KBF10?
No, we use the hashtag Yak Attack again. I think, right. I mean, Yak Attack supporting this thing. They've supported the sport from the beginning.
There you go.
Well, from the beginning of themselves, not from the beginning of the sport. But I think y'all know what I mean. Right.
You got it. Hashtag Yak Attack when we tell you.
Yeah.
All right. So you have a list of things you want to talk about. On top of, we're going to start a new category, which is the good old soapbox category. We're going to bring that back out and throw that in the mix. And then you've got a ton to talk about between the Pro Series Championship, the 10, the first 50, which is something new. Everybody's going to learn about that. FishOPS, which is totally brand new and getting ready to knock out of the park. And then payouts and a whole bunch of things. So we got a major show to talk about. So let's start this thing by talking about the Pro Staff Championship.
Pro Series Championship, bro. We're not having a
Pro Series. Why did I say Pro?
I know what you said. I'm sorry, because I abbreviated in the show notes. All right, guys. So listen, before we get started, I'm going to announce that I got a soapbox that I'm going to do at the end of this video, and I'm not sponsored by these knuckleheads, at least not yet. Duke Cannon, if you're listening or if you see this, here's the deal. I'm supporting groups that support veterans, and these guys do a really good job of supporting veterans. I did some digging. I did some research. First and foremost, I love the product. Christy bought this for me as like some man stuff because it's big American bourbon soap. So I don't know if that means big soap or it's for big Americans, but either way, it applies in my household. So at the end of this show, I'm going to get on what I'm calling my Duke Cannon soapbox. Now, for those of you that have been around a while, you know that there wasn't always the kindler, gentler Chad. And I'm not going to go all the way back to the old me. But we're going to go back in that direction a little bit at the end of the show because I'm going to get on my soapbox. So y'all stay tuned for a little fireworks. So not fireworks, just a little something. I'm just going to get some stuff off my chest.
You know
what
I'm
saying?
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to do.
All right. So we're talking about that Pro Series Championship.
Pro Series Championship. For those of you seen it.com/Pro Series to get the details. Unlike what I've done in the past, and I'll talk about this a little bit when I get on my soapbox. I haven't always put out what the long-term plan is. I talk about it in internal groups and things like that, but I don't always share it with everybody, and everybody in this community is a stakeholder. So what I decided to do for the Pro Series, especially since we decided to relaunch it after we shut it down right at the beginning when COVID kicked in and we had to go on survive mode first before we could go into thrive mode again, is I put the plan out over several years and what the plan is and how we're going to get where we are planning to go. I think along the way, we've been trying to do things that people go, oh, you know what you ought to do? And I go, well, yeah, I know what I ought to do. In a perfect world, anybody can sit there and figure out what's perfect, but you have to take steps to get there. And so we're showing those steps in the Pro Series Championship, Pro Series format on the website, what the 3 and 5 year plan is. So you guys go check that out. And by all means, weigh in the comment section. Even while we're doing this live, you can go read it on your phone or tablet or what have you. And then you can go, wait a minute. Are you saying the entry fee is going to be $500 in a couple of years? Or you're saying the Pro Series Championship payout is going to be this much? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. And you can only accomplish things if you set goals that are difficult to achieve. If you saw somebody pole vaulting and they ran up and just stepped over the thing, it wouldn't be impressive. If you only did what you always do, then the only thing you would have is what you already have, right? So I personally, and KBF by default gets criticized a lot for constantly changing things, but that's the only way that you grow. That's the only way that you blaze new trails. If you're following a path that somebody else has already blazed, you're only going to end up where they've already gone. Just being straight with you. Now I'm going to get back to that in the soapbox. So let's talk about this Pro Series champion.
Oh, there we go. Hold on.
Christy swore up and down when she took over as president, I was going to have to be more calculated. So she wouldn't let me announce it Thursday on the little short thing. I had to twist her arm substantially to get permission to announce it this time. So guys, in March of 2023, we're going to have the first Pro Series championship. We're going to have that $50,000 guarantee, and we're going to have it in Shreveport, Bossier City, Louisiana. Now, I could go hard right here, but I'm going to hold it to the end and talk about it when I get on my Duke Cannon soapbox. And I promise you we're going to keep it clean, okay? So we're just announcing that, and then we're going to move on from the pro staff. Got me talking about Pro Series Championship.
It's my fault.
Right
I'm sorry. I did it.
Hey, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, so Pro Series Championship. We're going to do it in March. We don't have the exact weekend picked yet, but it's going to be early in the year. It'll be kind of the opposite of when we're there for the national. When we were there for the national championship the first time. It's going to be an absolute slugfest of the absolute best anglers in the world. Again, I'll get into that when we get down to the soapbox, when I talk a little bit about the national championship and kind of some of the stuff that people say that gets in my craw about that event. I'm going to do a little clarification for some of the mouth breathers out there that don't quite get it. All right, let's talk about the 10. The 10, man. Look, I'm going to say this because it's, and I'm biased, so I'll go ahead and say it up front. I think that the 10 is the most elite event in kayak fishing. Here in a few days, we're going to start doing profiles on each of the anglers. We're going to start dropping graphics. You and I are going to do a series of shows where we bring each one of them on, talk about how they got there, talk about what their plans are, talk about what being in the 10 means to them. But it's going to go down at the end of January, or the Trail Series at the end of January, the 10 Invitational at the end of January, and then the 10 is going to be in February. We're going back to Encore Resorts. We're going back to the exact same 10 house. It's the 10 house. You know, we explored some other options, and maybe sometime in the near future, we go to a different lake or a different city or a different place in that same city. But for right now, it's the 10 house, man. Right. It's like a dang mansion. It's got a mystique to it. And when you walk in that house, when I walk into that house, and I didn't even earn my way in, but when I walk into that house, it feels reverent. When we're putting the prize packages together and putting it on their bed, it feels exclusive. And when you realize that the top 10 guys competing for $10,000 just for first place, but everybody's earned a check before they show up. To me, that's what makes this event special. Everything's taken care of. You're gonna win money just by making it, right?
Right.
So instead of having one big Angler of the Year payout, basically what we've done is we've paid the top 10 in the Angler of the Year $1,000. So I think a lot of people miss that. And I'm not going to talk about this in the soapbox. I'm going to talk about this right now. I actually had a couple messages here. Oh, I can't believe you didn't pay the Angler of the Year. Well, actually, we paid all 10 in the Angler of the Year because everybody gets $1,000 minimum just for making it into the 10. And then on top of that, we gave a berth to the Challenge Series champion. We're going to do that again this year. So get in on that Challenge Series qualify for the Challenge Series Championship, go down to Shreveport, Bossier City, Louisiana, win that, or go down to this year to be Kentucky, that championship, and you win your way into the 10 house next year. So I think it's the most elite event. It's the one that gets me fired up. It's the best of the best. And what's awesome about it is the only time that the top 10 anglers in the Angler of the Year standings are 100% fishing on the same lake in the same conditions at the same time, other than the championship. But with the championship, they've got to contend with all those other anglers. So it's the only time they're there competing. It's just them. We moved it to the middle of the week to even reduce local pressure. Man, I just think we can't dial that formula in much better, other than working on growing the payouts, which is a big part of my goal over the next 3 years, is to make that, now that we've recovered from COVID, if you will, to continuously grow that payout for the 10. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really think that that's important. So let's pull the 10 graphic up real quick and kind of run through those guys if you can.
Yeah, let's look and see who made it in for the Angler of the Year to the 10. That's Cody Milton, Russ Snyder, Brandon Bissell, Cayman Rasmussen, Mike Elsey, Ricky McClurkin, Jody Queen. I always did that. Matthew Scotch, Josh Stewart, Cody Healy, and also Garrett Wade.
So let me talk about each of these guys for just a second. Just leave the graphic up there for me, Randy. Cody Milton has won the event, okay, has won Angler of the Year. Just won it again to make him the second two-time KBF Angler of the Year. Russ Snyder's literally missed Angler of the Year this year, which would have made him the first three-time champion by really a fish, one fish in one trail somewhere along the way. One position in the Trail Series Championship would have changed the balance of that whole thing. Brandon Bissell coming in and fishing 4 events, making his way in to the Trail Series Championship, doing well in the Trail Series Championship, and then winning his way into the house. Mm-hmm. Cayman Rasmussen fishing a trail event in Ogden, Utah, and then turning around and getting on the road and KF Kayak Fishing Utah event in Pineview, got on the road, went to California and qualified, did what he had to do to put himself in position to go to Louisiana, fish in the Trail Series Championship, and make it into the 10 house. Same thing happened with Cody Henley. The guy got fired up about KBF at that Kayak Fishing Utah event, headed to Clear Lake, put his head down, fished hard. So he had to drive from Utah to California and fish in events on unfamiliar water, and then had to drive from a couple of people that thought, man, I don't know if those guys should have made it in off of one event. Well, they didn't. They made it in off of 2 separate locations and 4 events, because they still had to fish 3 trails. Right. And man, even though it was 3 events in one location, there was some crazy stiff competition out there. There's always crazy competition in California. In fact, now that we're expanding more opportunities westward, I'm going to make a prediction that some of the best anglers in the country that you don't know currently live out west and live in California. And we're going to start seeing more and more of those anglers come to the forefront. Mike Elsey coming back for the 10 again, former national champion. He has a chance to be the first national champion to also win the 10. Jimmy McClurkin, it's his second time back to the 10 house. The guy's a hammer. The guy literally makes people have, sigh in disgust when they see his name on the Tennessee State Challenge. I think he probably hurts participation in the Tennessee State Challenge Series here in Tennessee. Jody Queen, again, defending champion. You know what I'm saying? Jody Queen's got every title in kayak fishing except KBF Angler of the Year, and I know that is burning a hole in him, and he's going to come out of the gate this year. Matthew Scotch, guy has dominated in almost every series that he's ever fished. He's done well. He's placed. He's been right up there in the conversation. I think he's got a bone to pick with Kissimmee. He came to Kissimmee, didn't have a great showing. The fish didn't come to him. His style didn't fit. The weather conditions were volatile. Whatever happened. But I know that guy, and I've seen that look of disgust on his face and seen him come back and like double down. If he's not top 3 this time, I'll be surprised, to be honest with you. Josh Stewart, another guy that is a steadfast position in the 10 house, has made more 10s than anybody. And then again, Cody Henley out there from Utah, and then Garrett Wade, presumably coming out of nowhere this year, doing really well, winning the Challenge Series championship and winning his way into the 10 house. But I can tell you, I had a couple conversations with him while we're down in Louisiana. And you know how sometimes you can just talk to somebody and you tell how much they know about fishing? That's Garrett. So, don't sleep on that guy just because he won his way into the Challenge Series championship. That Challenge Series championship is a lot tougher to win than you think it is. A lot of those names above him were in that event, and he took home the championship. So we're going to do that again this year. So if you want to look for a way to win your way into the 10, that's honestly, presumably, potentially even for a lot of people when I say that, but you've just got thousands of anglers that you're competing against. Then you get to the Challenge Series championship, and it's about half the size of the national championship this year. I project that it's going to get even bigger. We'll talk about that a little bit in my soapbox. But yeah, guys, that's the 10.
Here's a good question for you. Out of this list of anglers, who is the most senior? Who's been to this 10 the most?
So Randy, you broke up there for a second on my end. So can
Sorry
you
about
repeat that
that.
question for?
Yeah, sorry. Out of this list of anglers, who's been the most senior? Who's been the one that's been to the 10 the most?
Josh Stewart and Jody Queen and Cody Milton are right behind him. So
Gotcha.
Josh Stewart has been to more 10s than anybody else. So yeah. Nice. I think he's been to every one except one, or maybe he's been to every one. I'll have to do my research before we interview him. All right, let's talk about bonus bucks. So guys, we are going to change bonus bucks up this year. We brought on, we lost our butt on this series last year. For a lot of people that don't understand payouts, which I'll talk a little bit about in our soapbox session, we pay out over 100% over the course of the season. And bonus bucks is one place where we pay out substantially more than that. So last year, we paid out a little over $72,000 and we took in less than 20 in entry fees for that series. So this year, bonus bucks into your 2 days of the trail event. Instead of each day of the trail event, it's your 2-day total, similar to the Pro Series, except it's your 2 trail events combined. That's going to be called the Dakota Lithium Power Pay bonus this year. And it's going to be the same entry for the Trail Series and the championships this year. Last year, we had $100 for the Trail Series and $100 for the championships. This year, we're combining it. It's going to be $150, and it's going to cover both the Trail Series and the championships. And we've got some exciting things to go along with that, like we're bringing back Golden Hour and a few other things. So stay tuned for details on that. But bonus bucks, we'll have the details up really quick, kayakbassfishing.com/bonus bucks. I'm finalizing the page right now. Once I'm done, I'll publish that in the next 2-3 days. And then we'll put up a link for you to enter bonus bucks. Not really in play until the first Trail Series event anyway, but stay tuned. Be on the lookout for that announcement. Again, it's going to be $150, but it's going to be covering you for the whole season. It's not going to be, 2 different entries like we've done in the past.
I like that. I like that a lot. And then right behind that, the promo of the first 50.
So here's what we're going to do this year. Instead of me always spending money on Meta or Facebook or Instagram or the other, entities out there to get the word out about these events, I'm going to let you guys help us spread the word and benefit from spreading the word. So for every KBF event and every KBF series this year, when you enter an event, if you're within the first 50, share that. Share the page. Hey, I just entered. You can screenshot the leaderboard, tag us, tag Fishing Chaos that you see right there, and use the hashtag KBF First FIRST 50. We'll put this out on the page, but use the hashtag KBF First 50. But if you're within the first 50 to enter every event, help us promote it by sharing it. We're going to pick a winner out of the first 50 to win an equal entry to another event. If it's a trail event, you'll win equal entry to that. If it's a Pro Series event, you'll win equal entry to that. If it's a Challenge Series event, you'll win equal entry. So let's just say you're going to Florida next month or this month. This month. You should be entering in the Florida Challenge Series, or you should have entered it. If not, you should enter for February, especially if you plan on making it into the 10 house.
Right.
And then when you enter, you can share that. You can share the Pro Series. You can share, if you're qualified, you can share the Challenge Series, the Trail Series, the 10 Invitational. And if you get picked and you're the first 50 to enter any of those events, you're automatically entered for a chance to win, provided you share it and help us promote it. We'll pick the that they did the social post on one of the big 3 platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and the old, what was the other one? Facebook, Instagram.
Twitter.
That's the other one that I always forget. Twitter. All right. So that's our little first 50 promotion. I'll be doing some more standalone promotions about it. I won't get into a whole heck of a lot of detail about it right now, but we're basically going to give everybody a chance to win a free entry into an equivalent event. And this includes the championships for the first 50 to sign up. The National Championship, Trail Series Championship, and Challenge Series Championship are already up for next season. So for you guys that qualified for next year by finishing in the top 100, 50, and 50, meaning top 100 National Championship, top 50 Trail Series Championship, top 50 Challenge Series Championship, who are already qualified for next year, you can go ahead and go enter that event. It's already up. And you ain't got to wait around until you don't have any money, and then you're complaining and tell them you got to wait till payday. Use your tax check, man. Use your Christmas money. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and get signed up. All right, new trail events. That's next on the agenda. So I'm going to make some people smile, and I'm going to make some people cringe when I announce that we're adding at least 3, maybe even 4 trail events to the schedule. First off, I'm going to start with a couple of announcements for adjustments that we've made. February 19th and 20th, we had to move from Shasta out in California to Folsom Lake. Big shout out to James Snyder for constantly being a big KBF advocate out there. Boots on the ground. Tried to work the permit issue. Didn't work out for Shasta. We're going to go ahead and start now working for that for next year. California's got some crazy restrictions, and that's why it's important for us to have boots on the ground like we have in our ambassadors, our ambassador groups and ambassador series partners. So we're moving from Lake Shasta over to Folsom Lake. We've been there before, going back to Placer Valley, February 19th and 20th. April 9th and 10th, we moved the Potomac River event to April 9th to give us a better balance and a better spread in the trail series. And so for Potomac, we will be going to Stafford, Virginia, April 9th and 10th. Now, the next one is still TBD. We're about this close, and it is going to basically hinge on permitting. But we've got a second event scheduled March 19th and 20th, same weekend as Roosevelt. But we're working on an event at a very special place in the state of Louisiana. And if we get that past the goalie, then we'll go ahead and add that to the schedule for this year. If not, we'll go ahead and start working on it for next year and make that announcement as soon as we possibly can. May 14th and 15th, we're adding a trail event at Laurel River Lake in London, Corbin, Kentucky. It's 2 cities that are helping us with this by splitting it. And we're already having the high school and the college open there May 14th and 15th. So we said, we're already going to be there. We're already going to have judges. We're already going to be working the event. Why would we not offer a trail event for those people in Kentucky and up their KBF Trail Series opportunities, or have a KBF opportunity? That guarantee. May 14th and 15th, we're definitely doing. June 25th and 26th, we're teaming up with my local club, the club that I'm the closest to here in the state. And unfortunately, I'm gone so much, I hardly ever have a chance to fish with them. Trying to change that this year. And we're at least changing it by one event because we're partnering with the folks at Kayak Bass Fishing TN to do a June 25th and June 26th event right here in Tennessee, about 45 minutes from my house, Murfreesboro, Tennessee, Percy Priest Lake. You know what, guys? They've hosted the Bassmaster Classic there in the past. They've hosted some really good events. It's a sleeper fishery, and we're having it at a time of the year when both the largemouth bite and the smallmouth bite should be juicy. So, last but definitely not least, and this is one I'm excited about because I'll be able to make it to this event. I've wanted to make it to this event a lot. Clear Lake has always been our last event. And, it's all the way in one far side of the country. So why not have another last event and all the way in another far side of the country in the Northeast? And also, I wanted to show a lot of respect for the areas of the country that are helping KBF grow and that have shown substantial growth. And so I committed to bringing at least 2 trail events to the Northeast. What's better than 2 is 3. 3 is better than 2. You know what I mean? In basic educational math, when you learned in kindergarten and tiddlywinks. So we're going to bring another KBF trail event by partnering with the folks at the Elite Kayak Fishing Series for an event August 26th and August 27th, Lake Winnipesaukee. So guys, when I say we're adding trail events, we're also adding everything that goes along with it. We're adding the Dakota Lithium double up. We're adding the extra bonus bucks. We're adding the extra opportunity. We're also adding an extra pro series event. So everything we do at every trail event, we're doing Laurel River Lake, Percy Priest, and Lake Winnipesaukee. Don't forget that I announced that we are having the Pro Series Championship in Shreveport, Bossier City, Louisiana in March of 2023. And to be at that event, you got to get qualified through the this year. So honestly, that's going to cover the trail updates. I think next up on the agenda is to talk about FishOPS. I announced the event today, put a little bit of a teaser out about it. I did a YouTube video about it. I've gotten most of the updates done to the website, got a few more to do. But I want to talk about FishOPS just in general for a minute, Randy, and then we'll bring that graphic looks way better than either one of us. So FishOPS is the culmination of 7 years of like head down work, or 7 months of head down work. A lot of people know that I was in the Navy for 20 years. A lot of people don't know that I was in the Navy for 20 years. A lot of that has to do with the fact that for years I didn't talk about it. It wasn't that I was ashamed of having been in the military, and it wasn't that I wasn't proud of it. It was just that I didn't want to talk about it. It really what it boils down to is I just didn't want to talk about it. There was so much crap that I didn't want to talk about that I decided I would just suppress it. I won't go out of my way to promote it, and I'll gain a bunch of weight and I'll grow a beard, and nobody will ever suspect I was in the military for the most part. For those of you that knew me before, like you, everybody knows, okay? But I can tell you this. I am a billion% proud of what I accomplished in the military. What's crazy about this year is this is 2022. This is one of the squadrons that I helped start, HSE 22. I actually helped with the design of the logo. You'll see a lot of similarities to stuff I do. HSC stands for Helicopter Combat Support. Is the designator even number because it's on the East Coast. And it was the second squadron of the redesignation from Combat HC to HCS. And so therefore it got that designation. I'm a plank owner in that squadron. I was the first MMCO, which stands for Maintenance Material Control Officer. I was in that squadron so early on that I was there before the squadron existed. Helped with the logo design, the patch design, the coin. I was actually working in one squadron and the MMCO of that squadron and helping set up the fleet introduction of that squadron and the pre-com unit at the same time as I was still serving in another unit. So that 22 number has got a extra special significance to me. In addition to that, part of my kind of recovery process, if you will, after I figured out that I was a excessively angry dude, started to kind of peel the layers of the onion back. I'm not going to get into a whole lot of it, but I am going to say this. As I started going down this road to say, I need a purpose again. I need a purpose that's not just raising money. I need a purpose that's not just making me money. I need a purpose that's not just making other people money. I'm not really motivated by money. The only money that I'm motivated by is to take care of my family, provide additional opportunities for the people that work for me and with me. Because, I mean, honestly, everybody that works for me actually works with me. I don't do that for me crap, or I try not to as best I can. But, man, I went through a discovery process of realizing that I was an angry dude and that there was all these things that I had suppressed. And I got a lot of help from not-for-profits that were out there. And for a long time, I thought I wanted to start my own, and I did. So I went down the road of doing the FishOPS Foundation. And for those of you guys that don't understand, I'm going to tell you a little bit of a history. The OPS actually stands for Operation Prevent Suicide. And without getting too dark, I spent 20 years in the Navy. I lost 27 friends over 20 years in combat training and combat or training related exercises or accidents or whatever you want to call it. That was crazy. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of memorial ceremonies. That's a lot of flags. There's a lot of days of the year that just the day of the year. And I don't even realize it until I realize that I'm in a funk. And I had to go through a long process of realizing that on certain days when people jack with me, I was irritable and I was set on destroy, and I didn't know why. And so I have what they classically define as delayed onset PTSD. Really what it means is I had it, I just suppressed it. And then when I married Christy and she took enough work off my plate that I had time on my hands to think, I thought too much. I got in my head. I spent more time on social media, and I ended up being one of the biggest jackasses in this industry, admittedly. Okay. But it was friends and Heroes on the Water. It was friends in Mission 22. It was friends in other organizations that basically showed me the way to, I hate to say recovery, because a lot like an alcoholic, you never fully recover, from doing crazy stuff as a young of age as I did him, seeing the stuff that I seen, because they're not normal. But you have to learn how to manage the triggers. You have to learn how to manage the signs that things are happening to you, and you have to know how to overcome them. And so FishOps became a passion of mine. And I kind of took, I took 1 year off of social media. So for the last year and a couple of months, I haven't been active on Facebook specifically. We hired somebody to help with Instagram, so I'm not as actively involved in there. I do 100% of everything on YouTube because that is me, and I do 100% of everything on Chad Hoover Fishing Instagram. But I hired some help for KBF just because I was overwhelmed and triggered and all this other crazy stuff, and I needed to get my head right. Through that process, I realized that the biggest reason that veterans commit suicide is they lose purpose, they lose a mission, and I want to be able to give that back. So one of the things I'm proud of with KBF is we've hired people, we employed people, we hired people, and we employed them, and we didn't lay anybody off through the pandemic. We went in debt to not lay people off, and that's a huge thing that I'm proud of. That's a huge commitment that we made, and it's something that I want to bring to the forefront with FishOps. I want to be able to hire veterans. I straight up want to be able to build a brand and build a culture where we can make enough money with that brand to hire veterans, disabled veterans, you know what I'm saying? Veterans that are full body, fully able and capable, because I think some of the best leaders in the world are made and cultivated, or made better and cultivated into better leaders. And so I want to have a commitment to doing that. And so I went down this long road. Talked to Mike Iaconelli about the foundation. So we're going to work with him some for scholarships. We talked to several other entities, some of the folks at Mission 22, Behind the Lines Foundation. And to be honest with you, I got the most help from the folks at Behind the Lines. And I think Behind the Lines does a good job of focusing on one of the most important parts, if not the most important part, and that's the mental part of it. But they also support the families of veterans. That's hence the name Behind the Lines. And when I say veterans, I'm also including first responders and public servants. So one of the meanings of FishOps is the OPS stands for Operation Public Service, which is one of the things that we're committed to. So I'm going to try to make a long story as short as I can. We spent a lot of time in the formation of a foundation. And then after getting legal counsel, working with the folks at Behind the Lines Foundation, I pretty much realized that I wanted to do something to be able to contribute money to other organizations that are already doing great things, so that I didn't have to duplicate what they're doing. Right. By creating a foundation, though, that's what I was going to end up doing. And so after getting some really smart legal advice, and after the leadership at Behind the Lines helped me by introducing me to a legal advice provider that does a lot of pro bono work for them, it made sense for me to launch a brand with a mission, not a not-for-profit. Because with a not-for-profit, you have to have a very specific charitable mission. And if my charitable mission is helping veterans with suicide, then I couldn't also help provide scholarships, and I couldn't focus on other things that I was really passionate about. And I'll bring this all around together here in just a second. But basically, we decided to launch a brand that is a brand with a charitable mission. Now, I could have launched a separate brand. I could have launched a separate set of books. I could have hired a completely different staff. But honestly, I did a lot of praying. I did a lot of soul searching. I did a lot of thinking about it. And I decided to launch FishOps as a brand under KBF. And legal speak, it's Kayak Bass Fishing DBA FishOps, because I didn't want to waste money on duplicating a lot of the same efforts. And so ultimately what my goal is to transition KBF, the business, into a B Corp, which is a brand with a significant charitable mission, similar to like Bomba Socks and some of these other companies that you buy one and we give one kind of a thing. And so the idea was born that we do a Catch 5 Challenge Series. People call me all the time wanting me to help them run events. And I end up spending more time trying to explain to them how to run an event than it would take for us to run the event. And so we can hire Amanda with real-time tournament management. We can take her cost out. We can provide a cool t-shirt that also helps us spread the word. We can provide a decal. And I got that from these running events like the I Run For movement and similar events where they do 5Ks and 10Ks and things like that. And you enter the event, you get a t-shirt, you get a ribbon to go on the back of your shirt, and then you get a medal. But what I didn't like is the fact that you got the medal before you even did the event, right? And I don't really believe in that whole everybody gets a trophy thing. So if you go back to that graphic real quick, Randy, one of the things is, if you'll see, it's catch 5. So what we're going to do is we're going to do challenges based on that catch 5 concept. And so for the first event in January, we're calling it Operation Dink Slayer. And that just means that you don't have to have a whole crazy set of skills if you want to participate in this. So the way that this is going to work is, for everybody that enters, it's $35. You're going to get a t-shirt. You're going to get a decal. We're going to take the cost of running the event, the cost of the decal, the cost of the shirt out, and then we're going to award a challenge coin to everybody that successfully completes the mission, whatever that mission is. Now, I plan to help out Mission 22, Heroes on the Water, Folds of Honors, other great organizations that are doing great things for veterans. But I wanted to pay back the folks that got me to where I am, both personally, mentally, and from a business standpoint, for all of the time, effort, and energy they spent into helping me by running the first 3 events, for two reasons. One, I want to help behind the lines, raise awareness, and raise some capital for them for their operating expenses. And at the same time, put a little bit of money in the coffers for doing more with FishOPS. Ultimately, I'd love for every fish that goes through FishOPS to be judged by a veteran. I would ultimately love for all of the work that's done on behalf of FishOPS to be done by veterans that we hire, regardless of their level of ability or disability or whatever, mixes in.
Yeah.
And I know it's a lofty goal, right? I do know it's a lofty goal. And I know a lot of people are probably going to look at it like it's, something other than what it is. But, I'm not motivated by anything other than service. And it took me a long time to figure this out. I joined the Navy from a, poor white trash, trailer upbringing to try to make something out of myself. And immediately I focused on getting commissioned. I wanted to be commissioned so I could help my troops, my friends, my peers. And I accomplished that. And then when we started KBF, man, I just be honest with you, I was too ambitious early on for the wrong things, like making money, building up sponsorships, doing all this crazy stuff. And I can't say that it wasn't the path God had me on, because I learned a lot. Like, I learned a lot about how to provide return on investments to sponsors, how to negotiate sponsorships, how to get better. But I was also a bulldog, man. Like, there was times I did sponsorships where I ran people over. Like, I'm just going to admit it and be honest with you. And I've had these conversations in earnest with people. And I've had a lot of help from folks, that were friends of mine through Heroes on the Water that recommended that I talk to the right people. And I've got a lot of help. And I wouldn't have gotten that help. And I wouldn't even be standing here right now if it wasn't for these organizations that need our help, that are doing these things for veterans. But I didn't want to stop there, because I think we forget about the children. I think we forget about the spouses. I think we forget about the domino effect. And so a big part of the OPS is Operation Provide Scholarships. I want to provide scholarships for the children of deployed, deceased, disabled veterans and first responders and public servants. And I also want to focus on paddle sport safety. And that's the other version of the OPS, because, guys, I've lost 168 friends to suicide. Since I retired. Over 210 kayak fishermen, and I know that because I keep a tally, have died in safety-related accidents in kayak fishing. And so I had this conversation with the ACA, the American Canoe Association, and I'm really punching them between the eyes for the next 6 months. And if they don't take on paddle sport safety specifically for us as kayak fishermen, we're going to take it on ourselves with FishOPS, and we're going to lead the way either way with helping disseminate that information. But I've lost a lot of friends to suicide, and I've lost a lot of friends to easy, simple, avoidable drownings. And I can't sit here and consider myself a leader in this industry and then say that safety needs to be a bigger focus and not do more about it. Because I tell people early on, I was concerned, then I was committed. And if I don't do something, I'm complicit. And I felt like I have become complicit. And then there was a couple of years where I pretty well felt helpless because of the crap that I was going through. But because of the support that I've gotten, the help that I've gotten, the new wind that I've gotten my sails, that's all what's come together to truly create this, the culmination of FishOPS, coming into being. I think it's a God thing for all of the things that have happened to make it happen, when it happened, how it happened, the way it happened. And, it's one of those things where the right time is usually the right time, and now is the right time. And so for all of the FishOPS events in 2022, everybody that enters a FishOPS event, above all, is going to be entered into a fish free on me for 23 drawing Veterans Day this year. What that means is we're going to do a drawing for everybody that entered an event that met the challenge, that caught the fish. And you're going to fish free. You're going to fish every challenge you fish, every trail series you fish, every pro series you fish, every championship event. 100% of everything you enter that year is going to be on me. So that's a huge value. And I wanted to put that out there. In addition to that, we're looking for brands to partner with to do FishOPS edition products. I've got a great conversation going with Yak Attack right now. I've got a great conversation going with Bonafide right now, and several other companies that will do FishOPS related products and take a portion of those proceeds and donate them back to FishOPS so we can use them to run the organization, so we don't have to take money out of the coffers and use that to raise money to give to these other charitable causes. Right out of the gate, we're going to do the first 3 for Behind the Lines. After that, we're going to move into Mission 22. And then I'm still negotiating some of the other ones down the road. And I'm working with brand partners and brand sponsors to come on board and sponsor the t-shirt. If they can come on board and sponsor the t-shirt, then we don't have to take the cost of the t-shirt out. That's more money that goes to the sponsor. And so I know it sounds a little bit complicated, but it's pretty straightforward. You enter the event, you catch the 5 fish. The first one is, because it's behind the lines, it's every fish behind the line 15 inches. So we made it 15 and a quarter because you can't catch an exact 15 incher. Operation Dink Slayer, just to make it fun, to make it memorable. And you just got to catch 5 fish. You catch 5 fish, you're going to get the challenge coin. When you get the challenge coin, I'm just going to do a legitimate, easy. It's going to be #catch5. You're going to post it up with a picture of your coin. That's going to be part of the marketing plan, so we don't have to spend a bunch of money on marketing. That's why the back of the shirt says spread the word. Each one is going to reach one. And if each one can reach one, we can double. And then if each one of them can reach one, we could double again. And we don't have to spend money on marketing. We can market as a community. And I'm so proud of what this community does when it comes to coming together. There's been big charity tournaments where I've got praised for helping. And then there's been big charity tournaments where I got criticized for not being part of it. And I look back on that and go, I didn't need to be part of it. It was killing it. And sometimes when you're in my position, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. If you stick your nose in and try to help, people think you're only doing it for credit. If you don't help, people think you're doing it to snub people. To be honest with you guys, this year, most of me was being selfish and having to take care of me. The only analogy that I can use is, when you're on the airplane and they tell you when that little thing falls down, you have to put it on yourself first. So I honestly had to do that. And a lot of that passing the torch of Christie becoming the president was about that self-preservation, about me focusing myself and my time and my energy into FishOPS, because it's something that I feel like will give me a mission. It'll give me a mission for helping my fellow veterans, their families, their dependents, and everything that's encompassed in that bubble. But it's going to give away cheesy prizes either. Like, you're going to post up that challenge coin. You're going to win kayaks. You're going to win, mega prize packages. My ultimate goal is to get a major automotive company on board, some big non-endemics on board. I want to give trips to ridiculously awesome places. I want to give, a full truck built out for a disabled veteran, to a veteran, and to, a competitor. There's just so many things, guys, that I think we can do with this community and the heart that this community has. And I really just wanted to build a conduit for that. And I didn't want to waste a bunch of money building out another foundation that eats up $150,000 to $175,000 in just base operating costs, when I've already got a great business that could absorb that. And, I just think that it'll give me more purpose too, to be honest with you, being selfish. I've needed a mission myself, and my mission's fishing these days, like straight up, man. And I want to get more people fishing. So I'm going to stop talking about that now. I will be doing a whole video about FishOPS. I want to throw myself on the sword for everything that we've done wrong. So New Year's resolution type thing. Payouts were an absolute crap show several times this year. And if you go to register again, I had to kind of do a process assessment, because you can't do process improvement if you don't truly look at the full process. So I went and registered for one of our events, and I get frustrated with PayPal. And then I realized that when you register for one of our events, we required a PayPal address. So I'm like, well, how can I get pissed off at PayPal if we make people use PayPal? And I think early on it was the default. It was easy. PayPal's okay. Venmo's better. Plain old checks is even better than that in some cases. So when you guys register for events, and I know a lot of people viscerally react to change, PayPal's no longer required. Okay. There's a drop down. You can select your method of payout. You can get a check. It doesn't cost you anything. You can get PayPal. It's going to be a convenience fee, because I got to be honest with you, I got to start covering our costs better. It's a pain in the butt to process those things. If you buy a ticket through Ticketmaster, it's like $12 convenience fee and things like that. So I've got to do a better job of managing the business side for things like that. So we added a convenience fee to PayPal. We added Venmo as an option, and we have a lower convenience fee for Venmo because it's easier. PayPal is an absolute pain in the butt. There were several times this year that PayPal locked completely down, locked our accounts up, limited our ability to make payouts. And you have your customer service person set aside a full day to do payouts, and then they get 2 hours into the day and PayPal says, sorry, you've met your daily limit. You've met your weekly limit. And I'm not going to air a bunch of crap about PayPal, but I'll just tell you this. By having more options, we can call members and say, hey, we just hit a threshold with PayPal. I can send you a check for free and it'll be there in a couple of days. I can Venmo you if you have a Venmo account. And then we're going to explore other options down the road. Like, ultimately, the goal is to have a wallet right into Fishing Chaos to where you can just transfer the money instantaneously. But my pledge to you guys is that payouts are going to be way better, way cleaner, way easier. And I tried that this year, but with PayPal, you can't make promises you can't keep if you're not in control of the variables. So we're adding the check option. We're adding the Venmo option. We're keeping the PayPal option, because obviously I'm not going to force you to change when we're the ones that forced you to make a PayPal account for the last 3 or 4 years. And we're just going to get more consistent at everything that we do. We're going to get more refined. We're going to get better, and we're just going to continue to improve, like, straight up.
Nice. Yeah, it's gonna make things a lot less stressful, and for you guys, and then also for the anglers receiving, it's gonna make things easier with that option. So
now let's talk about. Let's get on this Duke Cannon soapbox for a second. I'm going to say this, and a lot of people are going to think it's crap, but there is no relationship with me and Duke Cannon right now, other than the fact that I found them. I did a little bit of digging. I look at all of their displays, and it says benefiting veterans. And then when I started peeling the layers back, they actually do benefit veterans. It's not just lip service. Right. So I'm willing to support a company I believe in, and I'm willing to support a company that's helping veterans. So go buy some Duke Cannon products. Duke Cannon, if you see this, if you're listening and you want to help out, come on board, because if you can help us spread the word, if you can help us accomplish this mission, then do that. So what I'm going to do is say this: when you comment, when you respond to the stuff I'm about to get on this soapbox for, I want you to use the hashtag DC keep it clean. I want you to do that because I want you to remember that I'm asking you to keep it clean, to keep it civil, and to keep it respectful. Okay? Because I can't get on these soapboxes and do these rants if it turns into an absolute, fallout after the fact. So DC, keep it clean. And if you remember what we did at the national championship, I think you see some foreshadowing to some of the things that we're going to try to do this year. I'm going to try to force their hand to get on board with helping us get more people to pick up trash and clean up our riverways and clean up our waterways and clean up our launch sites and our boat ramps and things like that. And so I think they're the perfect partner. I'd love to help them. I'd love them to help us, and we could help each other do more for veterans, do more for keeping stuff cleaned up, and then do more to, again, help benefit brands that benefit veterans. So time to jump on that soapbox. I'm going to make some predictions first and foremost. Predictions.
All right. So what's your prediction? What's the area of these predictions?
These predictions are going to be all over the dang place. So I'm just going to rant. You ready?
All right, let's go.
So my first prediction is that KBF is going to make the KBF Pro Staff the most elite series in kayak fishing.
Pro Series.
The most elite event series in kayak fishing. and not stop there. My goal is to make it one of the most elite series in fishing. I want to have a pro series to where when, I don't know, insert pro angler here thinks that they're going to drop down, and I hate that. It makes my blood boil. They're going to drop down and grab some cleanup money in the kayak fishing series. I want them to be in for a rude awakening when they think they're just going to jump in on the kayak fishing series and do a little duck off fishing. Let me explain what duck off means to those of y'all don't know. I used to rodeo about 100 pounds ago. Well, about 60 pounds ago now, but and about 30 years ago. And there was duck off cowboys that would go ride in rodeos where the good cowboys weren't, because they didn't have a step of competition, just to try to make money. And I think a lot of times when I hear pros talking about the kayak series and they say, yeah, I think I might drop down and fish some of those events. I get what they're saying, but it kind of makes my blood boil. It's a big reason that I didn't continue on with one of the pro relationships that I established, because of that mindset and that second-class citizen mindset towards us. I'll get to that in another part of my rant, but I want to make the KBF Pro Series, and I will make the KBF Pro Series the best event in fishing. I've kind of played the middle of everything, but my job, my commitment is to my members, to the members that join our organization. And if I'm not doing everything that I possibly can to make KBF the best that I possibly can, and to provide the best opportunities, our core values are simple: community, opportunity, resources, and education. And as we continue to move towards that, if I'm not providing the best possible opportunity, I'm not doing my job. So I can't stand here and not say it. And I might sound conceited by saying it, but I'm going to say it. We're going to make the KBF Pro Series the best series in kayak fishing. And while simultaneously doing that, we're going to make the KBF Trail Series even better and make it just as good. And then we're going to make the KBF Challenge Series even better. And by doing so, we're going to partner with our ambassadors, and we're going to learn from them, and they're going to learn from us. And we're going to make the KBF Ambassador Series, the Ambassador Series overall, and everything that we do, the most elite series. I hate the word. I especially hate self-appointing it. But hey, I'm just going to put the stake in the moon right there.
Oh, you got to do it. It's going to only help everything else as it goes forward. So
here's my next prediction. My next prediction is that every series will allow kayak motors within the next 3 years.
Every series, like
I know it's a bold prediction, and a lot of y'all are going to be like, "Come on, man! You're taking a shot." I'm not taking a shot at anybody. I'm making a prediction, and my prediction is every series out there will allow motors. And the reason that I tell you that is because the anglers want it, especially competitive anglers. If they didn't, they wouldn't be going to events that don't allow motors, using motors for pre-fishing, and then having a bracket on the back of their boat in every dang photo and video that you see. So yeah, I said it. 3 years, every series will allow motors.
3 years. Okay.
Now there'll probably be an incremental, like you'll start with some kind of easy way in, you know what I mean? But 3 years, everybody will allow motors. I'm going to go a little further and say that unless this will be a shot. This is going to be me actually going back on myself and what I said in my no drama video. And this is not designed to draw out anybody. Actually, I can't say that. Here's the deal. I think what Bass is doing could have been good. I think what Bass is doing isn't. I think their series for next season's a joke. It's a kind of semi-regional, like barely even relevant deal. And so to me, you're either in or you're out, but it is indicative of how they're treated the series. Saying stuff on stage like, now it's time for the real weigh in. Always treating kayak fishing like it's the second, third, fourth tier, things like that. So I kind of bit my tongue to the point that I almost got like a permanent groove in it. I also think that their payout model is upside down, backwards, and sideways. And I honestly can't believe that the anglers have tolerated it. You know what I mean? I'm never going to go that route and say, ooh, well, now that Bass is doing that, I think I can do the same thing. No, I'm going to do what I do because I believe what I do is fair. More money along the way, less money held back, and then do things to supplement the payouts of the championships so that we grow the sport. That rising tide raises all ships. If you make it to where it's all OPM, which stands for other people's money, and you make it to where the payouts are so anemic that they only are good for a few at the end, you're basically going to ruin the sport. People will not be able to sustain themselves as pros or even as semi-pros or working their way towards it. So if this makes bass get better, and I doubt they'll ever see it, but if they do, yeah, hey, bass, improve your stuff, make it better, make me wrong. But if you don't, you won't be around in 2 years. There will be nobody going to your events.
Yeah.
Nobody will be going to those events if it stays the way it is now. Okay. And I'm going to do everything I can to make the comparison so different that you're forced to improve or dissolve. And I'm not saying bass is going to dissolve. I'm just saying, and I kind of heard it in the voice of some of the people. Oh, we don't really know kayak fishing. We depend. Well, learn. If you're going to do it, do it. Get committed. So that's part of that soapbox. Another part of that soapbox is the criticism of the KBF National Championship. And I could stand up here and try to look at y'all and say I don't take it personally, but I do, because the KBF National Championship is my baby. It's that shaky leg horse that just fell out on the ground, and I'm nurturing it to full-blown stallion. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And part of the problem is I didn't paint the picture of what it was going to be in 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, and 10 years. And so other people jumped in and tried to do what I was planning on doing at that point several years down the road, but just had to take a process to get there. We turned the corner to the point where the national championship will get tougher and tougher to qualify. There's enough critical mass out there and enough individual series where people learn the rules. But early on, it had to be open. It had to grow the pot. It had to get the industry's attention. And it has done that. I firmly believe that the national championship, everything that people loved about it and everything that people hated about it, was the reason other things were born. And I'm good with that. So yeah, I said it. I firmly believe that. Now, I'm going to say one more thing. Locations and consistency. This is another criticism that I take to heart, just like the payout thing, and I'm constantly trying to make it better. I could sit back and do less events and say, unless every event could be up here, I'm not going to do it. And if I do that, I'm robbing you guys of opportunity. Let me explain that. It would be easy to sit back, and I talked about this earlier, and follow a path that somebody else is blazing, but you're going to only end up where they've already gone. Mm-hmm. For example, nobody knew that the fishing in Shreveport, Louisiana was at the level it was until the KBF National Championship went there 2 times and put it on a national stage. People knew about Red River from the national championship or from the bass event there, but there was 1 or 2 fish caught on the Red River. Right? We shone a light on these fishers. And then everybody thought, oh, it's going to be 1 on Caddo. Everybody said it was going to be 1 on Caddo. It wasn't 1 on Caddo. So it shined a light on these other places. Fort Worth, I promise you, when we go back to Fort Worth the next time, it'll be a monster event. So this is why I'm talking about this under the realm of consistency. Sometimes when we go to these places, that event may not be the best possible event we could put on early on, because we have to prove to the cities, we have to prove to the sponsors, and we have to take the available resources and divide them up across the country.
Yeah.
Because we're doing more than anybody else out there. Look, I'm just going to say this. If I did 5 events, we'd have 5 national championships. Literally. If I took the money we spend on all these other events and providing opportunity as equally distributed across the country as we possibly can, we'd have 5 mini national championships. If I did 10 events only, that'd all be ridiculous. I'd have Gordon Ramsay at those things catering them. I mean, I'm just being ridiculous. But somebody, some like redneck barbecue celebrity, maybe, or something like that. But yeah, if we only did those few events and we went to places other people had already spent their marketing dollars making popular, of course it'd be easier. It's just like the R&C versus R&D thing, like Newport vessels. I'm just going to throw this out there since I'm on my soapbox. It's real easy to come out and make a motor after somebody else has invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in technological advancements and marketing and pioneering and taking all the arrows in their backs and then just come in and jump in and do that. It's the exact same thing that Pelican and Lightning kayaks and some of them did when they knocked off the Hobie pedal drive, right? It is what it is. It's the same thing that Arctic does when it makes a cooler that's basically a knockoff of a Yeti. They let somebody else do the work, and they came in. And I always find it funny that in our industry, in our world of America, and all of these principled people that we support the knockoffs. It blows my mind, to be honest with you. But I also think that imitation is the greatest form of flattery. And I don't take it wrong when somebody goes to a location behind me. I think it's smart. I also say it helps KBF. If KBF goes somewhere for the national championship and then Hobie goes there behind us for the TOC, it makes Shreveport go, thank you, KBF, for putting us on the stage that Hobie would want to have their TOC here. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it took a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of energy to make that place popular enough that many people wanted to go there. Like, for example, the first national championship TV show that we shot there cost $67,000. And I know a lot of people don't believe that, but between the 6 videographers being there for 5 days, 6 days, editing, all of the food, lodging, it was outrageous. And then the airtime to put that TV show out there to make Shreveport go, man, this kayak fishing thing is huge. Let's bring it back. And to be willing to invest in even more, those are paths we plowed. So when we talk about consistency, realize this, that unless you try new things, unless you're willing to fail, you will only ever do what you've already done. And that includes Tourney X originally. That includes Fishing Chaos. That includes experimenting with iCatch and experimenting with half a spot and experimenting with iAngler and all of those things to find the best thing out there. I consider it my job and my responsibility and my obligation and my burden to take those face shots, to take those arrows in the back, to continuously move the ball down the field towards innovation. I find it laughable, some of the clowns out there that anoint themselves leaders. And by leaders, they mean people who actually criticize real leaders. That ain't leadership. That's followship. That's leadership by proxy. Shut up, get up, and do something, and then we'll all be proud of you. Until then, you know what I'm saying? I'm really sick of some of the self-appointed leaders, right? Self-appointed champions, right? We call them SACs in the military, self-appointed champs.
Champions.
I'm a self-appointed champion of this cause. Come on, man. Do something. If you want to do something, put up. You know what I'm saying? Invest. There is nobody more invested in kayak bass fishing, the company, the organization, than me. Not Torquedo, not Real Tree Fishing. Actually, you can't take the first and second sponsor, add them together, and put the amount of money that I put into this damn thing. So I'm just going to say that too. I'm invested, skin in the game. Here's the reason I'm saying all of this. I need your help to continue to do this stuff. We're not on life support, but we need to thrive to provide more opportunities. We need to thrive to make FishOPS what it really could be and to have the impact that it could have, and to get the attention of sponsors that will then also sponsor kayak fishing more, because that rising tide raises all ships. You know, the national championship has taken a black eye a lot of times for, it's too easy to qualify for. It ain't easy to win.
No.
The definition of how elite an event is how hard it is to win, not how easy it is to get in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's not hard to get into the Boston Marathon. You know what I'm saying? It's not impossible, but it's hard as hell to win it, which makes that fruit that much sweeter when you do win it. So it's easy to walk the path somebody else has walked. It's much harder to blaze that path yourself. So all I'm asking is that you show a little respect for the person that did the plowing, moved the rocks, cut up the roots, ran through the spider web first. You know how you're walking in the trail and somebody always hits the spider web first? Yeah, that's right. Makes it easier for everybody that comes behind them. So we're going back to Shreveport for the Pro Series Championship. And I got to be honest with you, man, I'm pumped that Hobie is going back there, because again, it gets to show off yet again one of my favorite fisheries in the world. It's where I'm from, is world class. And not only is it world class, it's even world class when the TOC will be there in November. And a lot of people have already put up their fishing stuff. You know what I'm saying? I think it's going to shine a spotlight on Shreveport, Bossier City, just like the national championship did last year. And it's going to put so many eyeballs on the Pro Series Championship, because a lot of people from this year's national championship will be there for the TOC next year will then be there for the Pro Series Championship. It's going to be all eyes on those anglers for both reasons, right? There's going to be a lot of people trying to learn when they're watching the TOC for the Pro Series Championship. And there's going to be a lot of people making comparisons and all that. And I love it because all of that means it gives Shreveport, Bossier City more love. It gives a city that KBF put on the map more love. And it makes other cities around the country want to be that. And there's so many little sleeper fisheries like this one that if I can get approved in March, it'll be another one just like Bistineau. This place before. Dude, it's going to be crazy. So listen, for your chance to win, I tell you what, dude, we're going to do a $100 Yak Attack prize pack right now. We'll do a $100 prize pack for the hashtag DC Keep It Clean. But I'm also going to do a trail entry.
Oh, nice.
To kick the season off for the hashtag DC Keep It Clean. So I don't care where you post it. If you use the hashtag DC Keep It Clean, I'll find it and I'll pick some winners. So y'all let me know what you think.
So right now everybody has been putting in the hashtag DC Keep It Clean inside of the comment section, and you're allowed to do that.
Well, let's just draw from that then. That makes it better.
You can do that. So you can put that in there. But right now, what we're going to do is we're going to put out like we did the last time, and that is hashtag Yak Attack. In the comments section. Once I hit the start collecting button, you're going to be able to start doing that. It's hashtag Yak Attack. We'll get that going.
I guess we should do some questions while we're waiting on that, huh?
Exactly.
So put 5 minutes on the clock.
We're going to put 5 minutes on that clock. We're going to start this right now. Hashtag Yak Attack. Start putting that in there so that way we can start getting it. We got 3 entries in already. I know there's tons of people watching this show. They're getting with you. They're backing up. They're backing you up on the thought process of the soapbox. It's a great section. They definitely agree with if you ain't first, you last.
Giddy up, baby.
There
and we're going to be doing some river waterways and ramp cleanups. Even if DC doesn't come on board for the Duke Cannon deal, we'll pull it together. But Duke Cannon, if you're listening, help us help you. Help us help you by helping us help you. Anyway, Randy, let's do some questions, man.
Yeah, so I'm looking through here, seeing what we've got going on. They really, they 100% agree with you on a lot of things that you said during your soapbox section, and I like that. A lot of people, one of the anglers says, skipping Texas bass, not going to be a local trout tournament. So they're making things all difficult out there. And then why keep it simple, stupid,
and fun. That's another thing while I'm waiting on you to bring up a question, let me give you a couple of ideas that we've got with FishOPS. First and foremost, we're starting off with Operation Dink Slayer. After that, we're going to play the over 18, kind of play on the barely legal words. Every fish has got to be over 18. From there, it's going to get a little more complicated, and we're going to do like a 9-ball style tournament where you got to catch a 16, a 17, an 18, a 19, and a 20. They got to be within that framework. Once you complete that, then you've completed the challenge. So again, that's why it's going to be called a challenge, not a tournament. And we're going to get creative with it. We're going to do some hog hunts this summer where every fish has got to be over 20. We're going to do some crazy stuff. And I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. And it's really going to be something that we can offer for our anglers out there that are members of KBF that support what we do, that could give a flying flip about doing an actual trail series event, a pro series event, or even the state challenges. So this is for you guys. Okay. So
yeah, I know that they're doing good. There's actually no questions, but the anglers are actually typing in both as we pretty much speak. They're doing the DC Keep It Clean and they're doing the hashtag.
Well, somebody post a question so we can at least answer one question while we're waiting. One question. We'll take the next question and then we're going to draw the winner. What y'all got?
There you go. If you guys got a question, let's kick that out there.
If you got it, post it if you got it.
They're staying up on it. They really like the idea of the Dink Slayer tournament. That gives me an option.
It's going to be fun. I think, yeah. I mean, and what I'm trying to show too with that Operation Dink Slayer is that we can move some numbers so that way I can take that first tournament out of the gate. By the way, registration for all FishOPS events will be open, ongoing, because you still have to complete the challenge. Whatever the challenge is, it doesn't matter when you start or when you finish, because you have to complete the challenge. So if you enter and you want to support the cause, even if you don't complete the challenge, you can still enter. By the way, one thing that we're going to preach at FishOPS is this. Yes, there are going to be some of the funds that do not go to the cause. That's why we're going to post a link to the charity that we're supporting on every one of these. And if you want to support them directly, go directly to the website and donate. We don't care about credit. We don't care about anything other than the fact that those folks are getting more donations so they can do more good. And again, the whole mission of FishOPS is to spread the word.
Also, remember, put in that hashtag Yak Attack. You do have a couple questions that have come across, so here
All
we
right,
go.
let's hear them. Let's hear them. Let's hear them. Let's hear them.
Brandel Bissell wants to know, are you going to be cooking burgers at the tent house?
Possibly. Or even better than that.
Even better.
Yes.
When will the Bucket Mouth brand winners be announced?
Oh, you know what? I'm glad somebody asked that. I was supposed to announce them yesterday. So, Randy, keep me honest on this when we hang up. And guys, if for whatever reason you have missed out on any prize this year, you've submitted the prize claim form, you didn't submit the prize claim form, you're just wondering where the hell things are because of supply chain backups and product delays and all that kind of stuff, feel free to hit me up directly at kayakbassfishing@gmail.com, or you can shoot me a text 757-348-2232 and I'll get you taken care of. But I'll announce those winners tomorrow, Randy, for the Bucket Mouth brand. Yeah, and Jackson Kayak has got all of the prizes ready to go, all that good stuff. So, Cecilia, I'll have that out tomorrow.
Jason Starley wanted to know, when is the team series going to be talked about?
The team series will be talked about middle to late next week. And, yeah, it's going to happen. When it fully comes into fruition, I don't know, but I got enough interest from people that weren't willing to post it publicly but started hitting me on the side, both sponsors and anglers, that we'll incorporate a team series component to all the events. And this year we'll have the team series, the top team challenge cup in conjunction with the championships like we always have. But my goal in 23 is to separate those and have a separate standalone top team challenge series cup. That way, when you're fishing in that event, you are only fishing as a team. You're not worried about your individual accolades. You're not worried about all that. And we're going to see some teams come out of the woodwork.
I like that. Jeremy Baker wanted to know, what beard cream do you use?
Man, I use Duke Cannon. Straight up, I use their beard softener, and then I use their beard cream. Literally used to get criticized all the time, being straight up honest with you. I joined the Navy when I was 16, went active duty when I was 17, never could grow a beard. When I did grow a beard, it was to look like I wasn't military for one of my assignments. And then when I retired, I was 37 years old and didn't really know how to take care of a beard. So I had some people message me, dude, you need to clean up your ratty beard, bro. And I started using some various things. I came across Duke Cannon 2 years ago, started using their beard oil and just combing it in my beard. My wife bought me several different ones. I've tried them all. The only thing that's not Duke Cannon that I like is that Cremo beard wash, which strips the beard down from other stuff. Between that and Duke Cannon. And then I recently found out they also have a beard wash. I got it for Christmas. Christy and gave it to me. And I got to be honest with you, man, that'll probably be what I move to. That way I'm consistently across the board for straight up Duke Cannon because it's good stuff. Yeah. So
I like that.
Thanks for noticing.
Yeah. They notice when it's all cleaned and kept up. All right. So here we go. There was one more question. And then after this question, we will announce the winner for the hashtag Yak Attack giveaway for the show.
Sounds good.
They would like to know, Chad, we need to see a 1-versus-1 between you and the Fluke Master.
Y'all going to have to go to Fluke Master, go to his Instagram and hit him up in his comment section to get him to do that because he's been running scared for years. So y'all go hit up the Fluke Master and get him to, but hey, I got to be honest with you, man. I say that, but I might have created a monster because he was anti-tournament fishing until I convinced him to fish a couple of KBF challenges. Then he started doing well. Then he fished the GUNTERSVILLE event, did well. Now the dude's out there and he's like become a tournament machine. So
right. I think you did create a monster on that.
He might not be taking candy from a baby anymore. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Hold on.
I'm down for that.
Something. Yeah, I think that would be a great matchup just to see kind of go down.
Yeah, just to see what happens.
I'm sharing some information. They wanted to see what was the website for those Duke Cannon products. So we pop that out there in the comment section. You can go and see that. All right. So we got 66 entries in this. We're going to go ahead and hit this let it roll button and let's see who wins.
And this is kind of cool.
You like this, don't you?
Yeah, it is cool.
It makes it easy because we don't have to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Delbert Patton.
That's a great name.
That is a really, I didn't, honestly, guys, and Delbert, bro, forgive me for saying that. I didn't even know Delbert was a real name until like 5 years ago. I met a guy named Delbert and I thought he was messing with me. I thought it was like a name of a cartoon character, but not like an actual real name. But
and then you have the last name Patton.
Patton, I know, right? You need an American flag behind you with a baseball bat over your shoulder if your name's Delbert Patton. So Delbert, congratulations. shoot me a message or go to KBF and fill out the prize claim form, and we will get you taken care of for $100 Yak Attack prize pack. Listen, y'all keep this hashtag DC Keep It Clean going, and I'll pick some more winners when I repost this on Facebook, or when we make this live on Facebook. When we post this after we're no longer live, and when I post this on YouTube, we'll pick some winners from both places. So
I like that. So make sure you keep that going in the comment section, just so that way you can still get in on the DC Keep It Clean competition in the comment section from here on out.
And you know what? One parting shot. If there's something you want to talk about, you want me to talk about in a future soapbox, use the hashtag DC Keep It Clean and put that in there. Hey, Chad, I'd love to hear your thoughts on insert topic here. Hashtag DC Keep It Clean.
I like it. I think it's a great segue.
Oh, man, I'm going to get in trouble.
Nah, not one bit. It's awesome. And the best thing about it is that, sometimes like you and I have had discussions in the past, you just got to throw that grenade in the room and let it happen. And this is times and platforms that you can do that on.
Sometimes you just got to feed the gremlin after midnight, baby. Did I just date myself? I think
you just dated it, but it's all right. Most of us are dated with you on that one.
All right, man. Listen, Happy New Year to all y'all. Thanks for tuning in, and looking forward to an awesome 22.
That's right. Make sure if you're going to, and make sure you sign up now for the Kissimmee event and get ready to rock down in Kissimmee, Florida for the next event.
Don't forget that first to 50. First 50.
That's right. First to 50. Everything. All right, everybody. See you in a bit. See you Thursday. Thursday on the show.
Love y'all. Hey guys, I'm Chad Hoover with Kayak Bass Fishing. If you're looking to get in on the exciting sport of kayak fishing yourself, check out kayakbassfishing.com. Yeah. Boom! Oh, yes.
What a freaking code.
So whether you want to find out more about competitive kayak fishing and kayak fishing tournaments, or just looking to learn more to make yourself a better angler, head over to kayakbassfishing.com and join today.